What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. It is not unusual for Chinese companies to try to lure Taiwanese talent from the high-tech sector with the promise of higher pay. But any economic activity involving Chinese money in Taiwan is strictly governed by cross-strait investment laws. Taiwan's Justice Ministry is investigating whether certain local companies have illegally received Chinese money for the purpose of poaching Taiwanese talent. 8 companies located in science parks around Taiwan are being probed. They're involved in key economic sectors like semiconductors, integrated chip design, and electric vehicles. Taiwan will be implementing stiffer penalties for drunk drivers and their passengers by the end of the month. The Transportation Ministry is introducing harsher punishments following a spike in fatal drunk driving incidents. John Van Trieste has this report.
Zero tolerance. That's the message Taiwan's government hopes to send to would-be drunk drivers, with new measures set to take effect March 31st. Among the new rules are provisions targeting repeat offenders. Under current law, the government can publish the names and photos of people caught drunk driving more than once in a 5-year period. But come the end of March, that period will be extended to 10 years. The new rules also target drunk drivers' passengers. The maximum fine for passengers at least 18 years old is going from 3,000 NT dollars to 15,000 NT dollars. That's a jump from around 105 US dollars to around 530 US dollars. The new rules follow amendments to Taiwan's criminal code in January that increased prison sentences for those caught driving under the influence from 2 years to 3. All this after a 10% spike in fatal drunk driving cases in 2021 killed 318. Campaigners against drunk driving are pleased with the heavier fines to be imposed on passengers.
国人其实最怕的还是要从荷包掏钱出来，所以把整个罚金提高之后，我们觉得要透过同车共责的人，他必须去感受到他也有一份责任，他也会受到严重的处罚，这才有用。
But they also say that more must be done to treat the root causes of drunk driving by paying more attention to issues like the availability of treatment for alcoholism. Klein Wang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Hong Kong's COVID crisis is spiraling out of control, with the city's death rate now the highest in the world. And that's causing concern here in nearby Taiwan, where projections now show that a similar scenario could result in thousands of deaths. So what lessons can Taiwan learn from Hong Kong's COVID crisis? Ren Ho Kilpatrick takes a look.
Morgues and hospitals are full, while supermarkets and schools are empty. Hong Kong, once one of the world's best models for containing COVID, now has the highest death rate from the virus in the world. So how did a city with over 2 years to prepare go from success story to cautionary tale?
I think reasons for that were really to do with the very poor vaccination rate in the most vulnerable segment of the population, which is the elderly. We had basically zero community transmission for months on end, so it wasn't an immediate threat, it was something distant. And vaccination wasn't tied to any end result. So that led many people to basically swear off vaccines, especially among the elder population, who had this absolutely unmovable misconception that if you have chronic medical conditions, then you shouldn't get vaccination.
When Omicron first hit Hong Kong at the beginning of the year, only around a fifth of elderly residents were fully vaccinated. That's since risen to 30%. But for the hundreds of unvaccinated elderly Hong Kongers who have died, it was already too late. In a way, Hong Kong had become a victim of its earlier success.
The kind of risk-benefit analysis that people undergo when they're considering vaccination is highly distorted in Hong Kong. So in many people's minds, there's a misconception that vaccines are as dangerous as COVID. There are many reasons for that, principally being a very, very steady drumbeat in the local media about deaths that occur after vaccination. Healthcare providers in Hong Kong haven't exactly helped a lot of the time, especially in the early days of the vaccination campaign. Honestly, everybody was so risk-averse that they fail to see the real threat.
The crisis in Hong Kong and its causes haven't gone unnoticed in Taiwan. On Monday, the CDC's daily press briefing saw direct comparisons between Hong Kong's elderly vaccination rate and Taiwan's.
很明显的看到80岁以上在香港打完1剂疫苗的是 51.15%， 那打完2剂的是只有 30.93，这个比例真的是非常的低。相对于此，我们台湾事实上我们的75岁以上的长者目前是有70% 的一个覆盖率，是比香港要多出1倍多。
Taiwan is doing much better than Hong Kong, but it is also far behind other regional peers like Singapore, where close to 95% of the elderly are fully vaccinated. Based on 2020 population data, there are currently close to 195,000 unvaccinated people aged 80 and over in Taiwan. If the country experiences a case fatality rate of 4 to 6% among the unvaccinated elderly, similar to that of Hong Kong and other Asian countries, it could potentially see over 11,000 preventable deaths nationwide.
70% is not going to cut it, unfortunately. We really need to get as many elderly vaccinated as possible.
Taiwan's ongoing success in beating back its own COVID outbreaks has bought it still more time to prepare for the eventual impact of the virus's spread. Hong Kong's example provides valuable lessons in how not to do this. Before then, government agencies, health workers, media, and the public will all have a lot to do. Ryan Hill-Kilpatrick for TaiwanPlus.
The risk of isolation and loneliness for seniors in Taiwan is an ever-present concern, especially as the country has an increasingly aged population. But one group of school children in the northern county of Miaoli is determined not to let local elders spend their days alone. Here is their story.
我独居在这个房子啊，我没有老婆小孩，又要中风，我常常一天说不到一句话。我最期待的就是礼拜六这一天，有时候晚上做梦都会想到他们礼拜六会来。
我国一的时候加入温馨厨房的。 就小时候得了血癌，然后病得很严重，然后我就说以后有能力可以帮助人的时候，就要尽自己最大的能力去帮助人。
有一些老人家就皮包骨就只有皮很少肉，所以就想给他多长一些肉，这样子是比较好看，也不会感觉没精神。所以我们在汤里面加了很多的肉。
出发！好，阿公。
啊，小朋友好。
阿公好。
你好。
你好，阿公。最近好吗？
好，好，你们这很快，很好。
很好。
好。
现在送汤了呢。还有水饺，水饺跟豆浆。
好吃啊！谢谢，拜拜，拜拜。只要他们小朋友煮汤，什么汤我都愿意喝，都很好喝。冬天喝到那汤最温暖，我非常激动。我觉得这些小朋友非常好，常常来看我，害我非常感动。我平常都没有人来过来这里，感到一个人非常寂寞。有时他们来了，找我聊天。有一次我们寒流来，我的房子是破烂烂的。 他来帮我把那房子那洞都堵起来，非常善良。
阿公在家吗？
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with footage of an incredible cake created to look like Italy's famous Milan Cathedral. Happy Friday, and I'll see you next time.